Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Michelle. What's going on, Emmanuel and Rob? Good morning, John. My special guest. Good morning, Justice. What's happening, Mike? Hey, Greg, you need to listen to my live from last night. I brought the fire last night. I dropped the mic last night. Ain't that right, Christy? Good morning, Rob. I had to go back and listen to that last night to make sure that I was being respectful, and I did not, try to hurt anybody's feelings. Good morning, Unil. I gotta upload that one from last night too. But it'll be uploaded when I'm finished with this. Monday morning crypto talk. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Hope you guys are ready to have a fantastic week. Mondays are always the hardest, but today's still a vacation day for you guys. So make the most of it. We're going to get started in just a second. I got to get this set up in some of my groups. Hey, Christy, you had me cracking up with that big girl's picture. That was funny as hell. The end of a 3-day weekend. If you're in the crypto world, how about every day is a weekend for you? Complete financial freedom. Yeah, you made me smile with that one, Christy. That was funny. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We don't have a whole lot to cover this morning. You know, it's been kind of quiet. I'm only going to cover 2 articles. So the first one, we're going to talk about an Indiana hospital just got hacked. Speaking of hacking, those of you on the BitConnect, for example, we've been under a constant hack for the last 3 days. A DDoS attack. This has happened before. It will happen again. The website's coming in and out today, intermittent. But at the same time, we're still making money, and that's all that's important on that side of things. So I'm going to put the link to this article in the chat box. Let's talk about what's going on in Indiana. You can read along with me or just sit back and listen. Indiana hospital hacked, held ransom for Bitcoin. According to local reporters in the county, Hancock Regional Hospital was a victim of a computer systems hack on January 12, 2018. The unknown party of attackers demanded a ransom of an undisclosed amount in Bitcoin, which the hospital has since refused to pay. The attempt to bring all operations to a halt was mostly unsuccessful, as patient care and patient information were not compromised. According to the hospital, only its email system and internal operating system and electronic health records were affected. Hancock Regional Hospital has been the victim of a criminal act by an unknown party that attempted to shut down our operations via our information systems by locking our computer network and demanding payment for a digital key to unlock it. We've seen this before with international, like ISIS and international crime that hacks a company and won't give you access unless you pay a ransom for it. So this happened in Indiana. Let's see. As alluded to by the hospital, Bitcoin hacks have become increasingly common. South Korean cryptocurrency exchange Ubit was recently forced to shut down operations in December after a second hack rendered the platform unable to continue trading. The first hack took place in April 2017, wherein the exchange was robbed of 4,000 bitcoins. The second hack proved to be fatal, resulting in a reported loss of 17% of all funds stored on the site. Bitfinex was another cryptocurrency exchange to fall prey to a hack. having experienced parallel misfortune in August of 2016. In that event, Bitfinex was unjustly relieved of close to $70 million. The generalized loss amongst all users was reportedly 36%, which the exchange moved to compensate through its newly created BFX tokens. You know, if you've got your own coin, you kind of insulate yourself. Like, BitConnect's been hacked, but nobody lost any money. Why? Because the site does not store your Bitcoin and stuff. One, they have that in a cold storage if they do. And second, we're using the BCC token. And third, we're not buying from the company. Contrary to popular belief, it has its own exchange where we are buying from other people in the community. So they would have to hack literally everybody's computer to get access to those tokens. But in 2018, we're going to see a lot more of this in the future. You're going to start to see a lot of companies, businesses, whatever, get hacked and then be held for ransom. If you want access to your site, you got to pay a certain amount of Bitcoins. So security, you got to be careful with your own security. No, I'm very leery about, and before I even say this, I am not a licensed financial advisor to be giving financial advice. I share my opinion and suggestions. Personally, I do not like storing any coins on exchanges. I don't store any coins on exchanges. You just never know. I trade and then I move it, which is what sucks with what Donald Trump did with signing the new tax law for cryptocurrency, that we're getting taxed every single time we touch our crypto, every time we move it, just by holding it, when it goes up in value. If we trade it for another coin, we're getting taxed up the ass on that. And pay your taxes. Pay your taxes. Don't try to get around the system on that. Now, we're going to go to international news. And I pay very, very close attention to geopolitics. We covered what's going on in Venezuela earlier this week. Coming out with their own petro coin, backed by their Venezuelan oil. You've got to pay attention. What's going on in South Korea is the reason why the entire crypto board has been red all week. They've been cracking down on their banks and the exchanges. Now we have word from the Russian president, Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin, pay close attention to what he says and does, because our enemies, I mean competitors, are following Vladimir Putin's lead on this. The number one way for them to get rid of the United States dominance is to attack the number one way we have dominance, and that's the US dollar. Sanctions. If they can get around our sanctions, they're free to do whatever they want and piss off America, and there's nothing we can do about it unless we bring in option number 2. See, when all diplomacy fails, when sanctions fail, our only option is military. We have the biggest, baddest military the planet has ever seen. And just because we have it doesn't mean we should use it. And Russia is going to dare us to use it. When they marginalize the US dollar, when they get rid of sanctions, when North Korea no longer has to worry about sanctions, do you think they care what we think about their nuclear program? When Iran no longer has to worry about sanctions, do you think they care what the United States has to say? The biggest people at risk is Eastern Europe. If Russia is allowed to get around our US sanctions, they want to put the Soviet Union back together again. It's their manifest destiny. Vladimir Putin came from the KGB era. He is not a capitalist. So, saying all that, let's read the article. Let me put it in the chat box here for you. What's going on in Russia? Vladimir Putin says, it is imperative to regulate Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Russian President Vladimir Putin has declared his intentions to enact laws that will comprehensively regulate the cryptocurrency markets very soon. So here is, in other words, what he's doing. In his left hand, he's creating the ruble coin, state-backed cryptocurrency pre-mined and controlled by the government. On his other hand, he's regulating the current currencies out there right now, Bitcoin and all the rest. So the no-nonsense Russian President Vladimir Putin has made it clear that his regime is not ready for half-baked crypto regulations going forward. Putin is of the opinion that the complete management of the Bitcoin and altcoin ecosystem is a load too heavy for the central bank to carry alone. In other words, he's a communist doing what communists do. Central control and authority of everything. He says, I'm not going to let you banks just put it in your hands. We're going to have the state take over. We're going to handle this. Therefore, his administration will lend the Apex Bank a helping hand in entirely regulating Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Russia's number one citizen, or number, what is that? Russia's number one citizen told, it's a media, told mass media that this is the prerogative, he is the number one citizen. This is the prerogative of the central bank at present, and the central bank has sufficient authority so far. However, in broad terms, legislative regulation will be definitely required in the future. The president has expressed his fears concerning cryptocurrencies. He said the volatile nature of digital assets makes it imperative to be wholly regulated to cushion the risks inherent in virtual currency trading for the Russian citizens. He explained that it is known that the cryptocurrency is not backed by anything. It cannot be a store of value. No material valuables are behind it. I forgot to put my phone on mute. People will start blowing me up. Let me put this on mute. Everybody wants to call when I'm doing a live. All right, where did I lose myself? Okay, he says, it is known that the cryptocurrency is not backed by anything. It cannot be a store of value. No material valuables are behind it, and it is not secured by anything. It can be a settlement medium to a certain degree and in certain situations. This is done quickly and efficiently. You know what? He's talking about cryptocurrencies, but he could easily be talking about fiat currency, because the same definition applies. What he's doing right now is this. He is the empire. The empire cracking down on you. He's the empire. That's the move he's making right now. The head of state opined that cryptocurrency-based investments share the same risk levels with investment in shared equity construction. In his words, he says, we cannot afford a recurrence with the cryptocurrency as it happened with deceived equity construction investors. If we regulate, and furthermore, then the state will be responsible for the grave situation the people may face. In the coming weeks, the Russian state might introduce stricter rules to govern its cryptocurrency environment. Russia's Deputy Finance Minister Alexei Moiseev has hinted towards the introduction of a bill by the end of February 2018. The law will focus on regulating the circulation of digital currencies and ICOs. It is crucial and worth noting that Putin and Russia's decision to ultimately regulate the Russian cryptocurrency ecosystem is not because they are crypto skeptics. Pay attention to this. Instead, the country wants to use regulations to sanitize the Russian cryptocurrency environment, thereby making it impossible for criminals to use digital currencies for illegal practices. On several occasions in the past months and years, Russia has looked positively towards Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. For example, BTC Manager reported in April 2017 that Russia was looking towards the direction of legalizing Bitcoin, as well as the country's plan to use cryptocurrencies to avoid U.S. sanctions in December of the same year. In essence, this new regulation of the Bitcoin and crypto markets might just be the beginning of greater things to come. Okay, he has it partially correct. That's partially correct. The real reason is they need to clear a path for the ruble coin that's supposed to launch in June of this year. That's the real reason. They don't want their citizens to be able to go around their system by using Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. They want their citizens to use a crypto ruble, which is going to achieve the same Russian goals of getting around U.S. sanctions. That is the ultimate number one goal of our enemies. Number one goal. They want their money. And sanctions locks up billions and billions of dollars they want access to. So if you can get around the sanctions, you now have more resources and the freedom to do whatever you want and dare the United States to do something about it. And what is the U.S. doing about it right now? Well, they're actually following suit when it comes to regulations. They are attempting to regulate and tax the hell out of the cryptocurrency industry. You don't hear a word of this out of Trump's mouth. He's too busy trying to claim he's not a racist right now, while we still have citizens in Puerto Rico with no power. How's that possible? How is that possible? Months after the hurricane, and we have American citizens with no freaking power and consistent electricity, water, and internet access. Yet he's golfing at Mar-a-Lago every freaking weekend. All right, let me not get off track here. But the United States government is not being friendly to the cryptocurrency space. And the article I read earlier about what the banks are doing, we got to pay attention because the same thing could happen in the United States. I already read an article about Bank of America freezing business accounts that's dealing with cryptocurrency, while at the same time they're trying to launch their own cryptocurrency exchange. This is happening. 2017 was Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. 2018 is Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Are you guys ready for it? But what is yet to be seen is 2018 could also be the second half, Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Because as Bill Gates says, the Bitcoin cannot be stopped. It can't be stopped. Pandora's box is open. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. So what can we do? You know, this past week has been particularly, I don't want to use the word stressful, maybe a little bit more frustrating for me personally. And the reason why I say that, and I'm trying to see how I can say this without revealing too much info. Let's put it this way. When I did my State of the Union on the network marketing industry, year-end, New Year's resolution, and the secret Facebook Live, December 29th or so, and I talked about you got to focus on the goal and not the task. And what that means is whatever you're currently doing is the task, leading ultimately to your goal. Unfortunately, most of you don't even know what your goal is. You're like zombies. You're just following the rat race. You're just doing what you normally do by habit. You don't even know where you're going. But once you have a goal, whatever you're doing to lead up to that goal is the task. That's not what you focus on. You don't focus on the vehicle. Because the vehicle can get a flat tire. The vehicle can get derailed. The vehicle can have a car accident. And if you're focusing on the vehicle and you have a car accident, you stop dead in your tracks. If you focus on the goal and your vehicle has a car accident, you just get into another vehicle and keep it moving. I began 2017 with the goal. I had no idea that by the end of 2017, I would be in the crypto space. It wasn't even on my radar screen. It wasn't even a thought. It wasn't even contemplated. But like Bruce Lee says, you've got to flow like the river, like water. You've got to be able to be flexible. When stone is thrown in your path, you've got to be able to move over it, around it, or under it. And not sit there and try to jackhammer the stone. So I entered 2018 with a little different mindset than I did 2017. I still have the same idea of having a goal and focusing on it. Only this time I am consciously aware that I need to be like water. I need to be like the river. And what's interesting this week, it was like 8-9 days into the new year. Things approached me. Things that I'm now a part of. That I had no freaking idea 14 days ago that I would be a part of. It wasn't even on my radar screen. I shared this last night as I was kind of like slapping down that dude Mike, who had to come and dump all over my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles image. You know, he's from the MLM world, and he's calling everything in crypto a scam, and everybody's losing money. He's completely uninformed. So I had to call him out. But I shared something that I made a prediction last year, because I knew that 7-figure earners from the MLM space will feel threatened by the cryptocurrency industry. I knew it. Why would they be threatened by it when they can just focus on what they're doing in the MLM space? Why are they even looking at crypto? The reason is because people in their industry are leaving it for the crypto space. And if your income is derived by your organization and your downline, and they're stopping their auto ships to join a cryptocurrency company, then your livelihood is being challenged. Therefore, they need to react, and they need to defend their space. I fully understand it because I was there before. And the only way they can defend it is to delegitimize crypto as a whole. And their way of delegitimizing it is calling every single thing in the crypto space a scam. And most of them are correct. Most of the companies in the crypto space are scams, are Ponzi schemes. That is correct. What is incorrect is that all of them. They said all of them were. That's not correct. You have to understand human nature. If 95% of people in the MLM space never make money, never get to $1,000 a month, they come to crypto and then 100% of them are making money, people follow the money. And that is a fact. I'm not speaking as a cheerleader here. I am speaking on facts. Every single person in my organization has made money. That is a fact. So the next thing they do is highlight rules and regulations in the United States. Because if you can't label everything a scam or a Ponzi, what you can do is say these companies are not operating legally to the rules and regulations of the SEC in the United States. Therefore, those companies will either be forced to cease operations in the United States, or they will voluntarily leave the United States and not want to do business here, which is common. I'm from California. California has the worst laws against business. It is not a business-friendly state, which is why businesses leave the state of California. Do you know why Donald Trump doesn't like NAFTA? And it's not because we've got brown people, meaning Mexicans, in NAFTA. That might be part of it, knowing how he is, but that's not why. The reason why is because American businesses find it that it is more profitable to move their businesses down into Mexico than have them stationed in the United States. Why would they do that? Because the laws and regulations in the United States are more strict when it comes to business than in Mexico. So these same companies that they want to call a scam that are pulling out of the United States are pulling out not because they're a scam, but because the business laws in the United States they don't want to go through and abide by. And the worst case thing is, and this is something that we as Americans better realize, is that they don't need us. That is a wake-up call. That is a slap in our face. They don't need us. It's not post-World War II anymore. These countries can stand on their own 2 feet now. They don't need Big Brother America anymore. So the only people we're hurting is Americans. But let me get back on track here to their thinking. They are jumping for joy thinking that every single crypto company is going to get forced out. So my prediction last year was, come March or April of 2018, the same people that is against the crypto space, that they're bashing it, they're calling it all illegal, in 2018, they will be involved in crypto by 2 ways. The first, if they stay in their MLM zone, they stay in their lane. I got to be like LeVar Ball here. Stay in your lane. If they stay in their lane and just focus on their own business, their CEO is going to let them know, oh yeah, we're now accepting Bitcoin for payment for products, goods, and services. Uh-oh. And then they're going to say, we're also going to allow you the option of getting paid commissions in Bitcoin. See, I've been on corporate side. That only makes good business sense to do so. And 98% of all MLM companies by the end of this year will. And you'll start to see these same people posting on Facebook, oh, our company now accepts Bitcoin. Oh, we're getting paid in Bitcoin now. Wait a minute. Weren't you just 6 months ago running your mouth against Bitcoin? And here's the second thing that's going to happen. The same critics, and I mean the big ones, are going to join or create a crypto company. And they're going to promote it like it's the greatest thing next to sliced bread. Because they're going to have one thing going for them. And better get used to this word. It's called compliance. You're going to start to see crypto companies that are 100% SEC compliant. So these same critics are now able to join the crypto space and say we're doing so because we found a company that's doing it the right way. So join us. What I didn't know at the beginning of this year, when I did my last Facebook Live for New Year's resolution, what I didn't know is that I would also be a part of it. See, for every yin, there's a yang. Yin and yang. There's got to be balance. You guys watch Star Wars? There's always balance in the Force. The good side and the dark side. You never have it where only one is dominating. When the dark side seems to be moving into more dominance, the good side comes in and puts them back in their place. And vice versa. When the good side seems to be dominant, the dark side comes in and creates balance. You guys see that in your own day-to-day lives. For those of you that don't live in fear and don't worry about the bad times, is because of this one quote here. You know, you can look at it biblically, like put all your worries in the hands of God. That's not for you to worry about. God got you this far. What makes you think he's not going to get you through this new challenge? But if you look at it from the other perspective, from a scientific perspective, it's not what happens to you that's important. It's how you respond to the things that happen to you. So which is why I said the beginning of this year has been a little bit frustrating. Because things have been happening to me that are outside of my control. I'm already positioned to make 7 figures. But what can derail that are things that are not in my control. Not in my control. but I can manage how I react to it. I can be like Bruce Lee and move with the river, not try to jackhammer that stone. And that's because I had that mind shift. And you always got to be learning. I had that mind shift coming into this year. I was able to maneuver and adapt. And because so, we're now in a position where I believe the biggest crypto company in 2018, we're already putting into place. You might have been hearing me talk about in the past, and meaning just the last couple of weeks. I'm creating a list. All focus 2018 is about education in the crypto space. I mean, it is sad when I get questions in my inbox from people. How do I create a Bitcoin wallet? How do I buy Ripple? What is an exchange? I can't log into my, basic 101 questions. But these are people that have a lot of money. And that's dangerous. That you're willing to put money and throw money around because of FOMO, fear of missing out, and you have no idea what you're getting yourself into. So education is the key. My phone is blowing up. Education is the key. So we're shifting ourselves back to education, but I also believe in earning while you're learning. And in the United States, people in the crypto space are now spoiled. They're used to that passive income. They're used to waking up and having $700, $800 in their bank account, or at least I am, not in their crypto wallet. So they've got a taste of it. It's like I remember when my son tasted Wingstop for the first time. For weeks he didn't even want it because it wasn't the wings he was used to. He looked at it, I don't want it. But the moment he tasted it, you can't pull a wing from his mouth. So now we've got an entire community of people in the United States that had a taste of crypto. But their biggest worry is if they get involved in any opportunity, will that company get shut down? Will that company pull out? Will they be able to do business legally? So if you have a company coming out saying, we are 100% compliant, game over. Game over. So while I was frustrated this week, at the same time, I have never been more excited. It's the yin and the yang. In 2018, despite the empire coming down on us, like Bill Gates said, Bitcoin can't be stopped. So that's enough of me preaching this morning. I will be back tonight if there's any more crypto news. Make sure you take time and reflect on what today is about. MLK Day. Despite what's going on in the White House, in national news, and a country divided, we are all Americans, whether Republican or Democrat. We all want to have a good quality of life for our family. And as Americans, we should all look out for all Americans, not just the ones that have the same political affiliation next to their name, not the ones that just have the same skin color as you. Show some empathy for your fellow American that might be struggling. And for God's sake, can we get the power turned on in Puerto Rico? What the hell? That's it. Bitcoin Brandon out. You guys have a great day. I'll see you tonight, maybe. Bitcoin Brandon out. Bye-bye.